5'9" builds are overpowered. I'm getting right into it because I know y'all hate those long intros. 2K is bringing back the small guard in 2K25. They're giving us more attributes to use on smaller builds, so the smallest build in the game, which is a 5'9" guard, is genuinely insane. Look at this thing. It has a 99 three-pointer with a 99 ball handle and a 99 steal. Just stop and think about that for a second. A build in 2K25 can get a 99 three-pointer, a 99 ball handle, and a 99 steal while still being able to get other things upgraded. This is absolutely going to be the small guard meta on the 3s and most likely the 5s. I played NBA2K25 early at Community Day and I figured out everything about the new Myplayer builder. If you clicked on this video, you've come to the right place because I'll tell you everything you need to know so you can make the right build on day one. I'm going to compare 2K24 builds to 2K25 builds and see which ones are more overpowered. I'm going to break down the 72 new takeovers and tell you which ones are the best. I'm going to go over badge requirements because some badges are insane and you have to be a certain height to get them. I'm going to tell you all the dribble move and animation requirements that you can't find anywhere else. I'm going to tell you the best height for a build depending on your playstyle and much more. Subscribe right now if you're hyped for 2K25 and turn on my post notifications so you guys don't miss a stream or an upload. I'll be dropping insane builds over the next few days and you're not going to want to miss it. And I'm also live right now on Twitch, twitch.tv/solo_. I'll be breaking down gameplay and builds every single day until the game drops. Now, there's a lot of new changes to the 2K25 Myplayer builder. I know a lot of you guys are going to say it looks exactly the same as the 2K24 builder. It does, at first glance, it does look like the 2K24 builder. But one of the big things that I noticed, and I said this in the intro, smaller builds get more attributes than taller builds. Let's look back at that 5'9" build that I was showing you guys earlier. Again, 99 three-pointer, 99 ball handle, 99 steal. That is basically unheard of. Like, maybe you could do that in like the 2K21 next gen builder. I don't even think you could, even though that builder was very overpowered. But this is crazy. And these builds also can get an 88 driving layup. I was talking to someone who said that they can get a 95 driving layup on this type of build, so that's probably possible. I also have an 89 mid-range, a 74 pass accuracy, which I'm sure I could get that up, and I also have a 94 speed of ball. So this build is going to be moving. It's literally going to be the fastest and like best dribbling build in the game with a 99 3-point and a 99 steal. So when it is in that corner, because we know this is probably not going to be guarding, you know, the other team's guard. On the 3s or the 5s, it's going to be in the corner guarding the other team's lockdown. You can't just throw that ball at that lockdown. Like this type of guard, although it is 5'9", it has a 99 steal. So we're going to have to see how overpowered, you know, lanes are, because with a 99 steal, I imagine this build could get some decent lanes and also like some pretty good on-ball plucks because it has a legend glove. And if you guys haven't heard, there's now a new badge tier. Of course, we're starting off with the bronze badges. Then we have silver, gold, Hall of Fame, and the new one is called legend badges. That is going to be a red badge, and they are the hardest badges in the game to get. I will talk about some of the badge requirements later, really show you how hard they are to get. Again, smaller builds get more attributes than taller builds. So 5'9", they're going to be kind of OP. 5'10", 5'11", 6-foot builds, they're going to have a lot of attributes to work with compared to 2K24. The question you guys may be wondering is, what's the cutoff? How tall can you get and still be getting an insane amount of attributes? I'd probably say the cutoff is about 6'5" if we were to compare it to 2K24. On your screen right now, I'm comparing a 2K24 6'6" build to a 2K25 6'6" build. This is one of the first things I did when I got in the builder because I had to see, can you make the best build from 2K24, which is that 6'6" build? And I know there's different variations of the 6'6". Some have layup, some don't have dunk. I know, but you get the gist. This is a pretty good test to run. I noticed that the builds were pretty similar. Some people say that they're worse in 2K25. I don't know. They look pretty similar to me. I also was not able to get a 92 three-pointer on the 2K25 at 6'6". Also, this 2K25 build is only a 97 out of 99 overall. I wasn't even done upgrading it at this point. But these builds are basically the same, so I would say yes, you can still make some pretty good 6'6", because I know people are wondering, especially if you're like an ISO player or more of a 2s player, you probably want to know about the 6'6" build. Also, while we're looking at the builder, there are some big changes which you guys might have heard about because this news came out like a month ago. But they took stamina out of the builder. I believe everyone starts at like an 85, and then you got to get your stamina up through Gatorade workouts. And they also took acceleration out of the builder. They replaced it with agility, which is not exactly the same thing. That is for like off-ball movements and lateral quickness, essentially. And then they also separated defense from rebounding. You know how it used to be one defense/rebounding category. Now the rebounding category is purple, as you guys can see. Let's talk about height caps for each position in NBA 2K25 because they have been updated. Sure, a lot of you guys like to make 5'7" builds, but for point guards, those are no longer a thing. The shortest shortest build you can make is now 5'9". The tallest point guard you can make is a 6'7". So they've been lowering this because back 2 years ago in 2K23, you could make a 6'9". Last year, you could make a 6'8" point guard. They're lowering this back down. Now it's 5'9" to 6'7" for point guard. For shooting guards, it is 6 foot to 6'8". For small forwards, it is 6'4" to 6'10". For power forwards, it is 6'5" to 7 foot on the dot. And for centers, this is a big one. It is 6'7" to 7'3". I know there's a lot of people wondering. Shit, I was wondering too. Will we be able to make 7'4" builds or even possibly 7'5" builds? Because of course, Wemby is not 7'3". He's definitely taller than that, and he is in the NBA. So if I had to guess, maybe next year we'll get 7'4" builds in the game. Now I have a lot of stuff to break down, but I want to talk about the badges. They completely revamped and updated the badge system in 2K24. I'm going to pop up a chart right here of all the new badges. Shout out to Paul. I'm just going to call him Paul. I don't know how to say your full name, but shout out to my guy Paul from Twitter, because these are all of the new badges. You guys can see we have layup mixmaster, post powerhouse, post up poet, paint prodigy, physical finisher. We even broke them up into these specific categories. So then we got the shooting badges, shifty shooter, set shot specialist, mini marksman. We got the playmaking badges, ankle assassin, versatile visionary, strong handle, and lightning launch. And then we have the defensive badges, paint patroller, high flying denier, and on ball menace. And in 2K25, there's only 40 badges. Comparing that to 2K24 last year, there was 77. That number essentially got completely cut in half. Now shout out to NBA2K Lab because they dropped this picture that has every single badge in the game, and it also has the ones that 2K decided to remove. Now, although they removed a ton of badges, a lot of them have just been merged into certain badges. Like, I'll pop up the picture again for my guy Paul. You can see that third row, or that third column I should say, has all of the merged badges. Like for layup mixmaster up top, acrobat, bunny, scooper, spin cycle, and two-step now all fall under that badge. I kind of like this change. I don't know about you guys. I like the simplification of badges. When there's a lot of things going on, it's kind of hard to, you know, understand. And I think that could be a mistake with the takeovers. We'll talk about all the takeovers in a second. Again, there is 72 takeovers in this game. Now I want to talk about meta heights for each play style. So depending on how you play, depending on your position or whatever, I'm going to try and put you guys on to what I think is the best height for that type of play style. Starting with the small guard, we already talked about this, so I'm not going to go too in depth on it, but that is going to be 5'9" builds. I mean, you saw it. They look insane. They look a little bit broken. I've never really seen anything like it, and just how fast they're going to be, how, you know, their shooting ability, their dribbling, and they get that defense on the, like, I don't know, bro. I think they're really going to be overpowered, and a lot of people, especially on the threes, like in the stage, everyone's going to be using a 5'9" build. Now, for my all-around guards, so I'm not talking about the super small guards. I'm not talking about the super tall guards or ISO builds. I'm talking about those guys that want to have something somewhere in the middle, like a 6'2", 6'3", 6'4", 6'5", something like that. I found the perfect sweet spot for these builds. Of course, again, smaller builds get more attributes, and I think that 6'3" builds are looking really good. Again, subscribe, turn on noties, because when I drop my full build video, you'll see how good these builds actually are, because I'm going to drop in-depth breakdowns on each of these builds. Yeah, as you can imagine, the 6'3" guard that I made is going to be able to dunk, shoot, and dribble, but also it's going to be able to play a little bit more defense than I expected before I got into that builder. For tall guards, I'm going to go ahead and say 6'6" are going to be returning again at Community Day, and you're going to probably hear from some other creators. They're saying 6'6" are patched. They're not going to be as good. I don't really know about that. I showed you guys the build earlier, so I'll just pop it up on the screen again. You know, these type of builds are going to be able to do it all, and honestly, this is not the build that I decided to go with for my 6'6". I'll drop an updated version, you know, a better version when the time comes in a few days. But I still think 6'6" are valid, and even for tall guards, I think 6'7" and 6'8" are also going to be interesting, although I don't know if you'd classify a 6'8" as a guard. For my ISO players out there, I found that the best height is going to be 6'7". Again, I'll be dropping a video on ISO builds soon. But I do want to say for you guys that are ISO players, you're going to be able to dunk, you're going to be able to shoot, dribble, and play defense. These are going to be some of the most broken, most overpowered builds in the entire game. Now let's talk about pure lockdowns. For lockdowns, I think the best height is going to be 6'7". Now, I'm not talking about hash locks. I'm not talking about offensive lockdowns that are going to be, you know, shooting the shit out of the ball. Pure lockdown that I made, and again, I'll drop a video on this in a few days, maybe tomorrow or something like that. It is still able to shoot as a 6'7", but if you go 6'6", which I had both last last year, I had a 6'7" and a 6'6" lockdown. At 6'6", you will be able to get limitless range with an 83 three-pointer. I think both are valid. It just depends. Do you really want to clamp the other team down and go with a 6'7", go absolutely, you know, in on the defense, or do you want to be more of an offensive lock and go with that 6'6"? Now let's talk about centers again. I'll be dropping videos on all of the center types, whether you're a shooting center, an inside center, or just like a 7-foot center, whatever. I'll have videos dropping soon. But for my shooting centers, my stretch bigs, I found that 6'8" is probably going to be the height that people go with. Maybe a little bit taller, 6'9", 6'10", but I do like, you know, being fast. And in order to get the highest speed possible, you got to be shorter on these type of builds. And if you want to be able to play really good D and be able to, you know, play on that PNR and maybe switch onto the guard, have quick hedges, stuff like that, you got to be shorter as a center. For my inside centers, I'm just going to be honest. I tested a lot of things. We only had a few hours. This was the one build that I didn't test the most. And by inside centers, I'm saying you cannot shoot. So I don't really think there's going to be many of these because a lot of people just like to throw shooting on their build because now we can just really put whatever we want on our builds. We're not stuck to specific pie charts. But what I'll tell you is either go 6'9" so that you're fast, or you could even try 6'8", 6'9", go 99 rebounding and be mad quick, kind of like a blah build from 2K21. Some of y'all know what I'm talking about. Or you go 7 feet tall and just make an absolute monster that is crazy at rebounding and can't shoot. And then for the shooting bigs, like the shooting footers, I think the height is going to be 7 foot on the dot, kind of like it was in 2K24. Next up, something that I noticed is that attributes in the 2K25 builder correlate way harder than they did in 2K24. And some of you guys are going to be a little confused by what that even means, but I'm going to pop up on the screen a really good test. So on the left, we have 2K24, and on the right, we have 2K25. For example, on the right, driving dunk when you upgrade it is going to bring close shot way higher than it did in 2K24. So we kind of lose that full customization. We're a little more limited because although I want driving dunk, maybe I didn't want my close shot to go that high. And in 2K24, the close shot didn't go as high. Something else you might have noticed, driving dunk brings up ball handle way higher than it did in 2K24. Something else I noticed is that 3-point brings mid-range shot higher. It's not much higher, but it is a little bit higher. So if you're going to go with a crazy high 3, you can't leave your mid-range down at like a 75 or whatever anymore. The mid-range is going to be following your 3-point rating up as well. Now, when you upgrade steal, your interior defense is going to go way higher than it did in 2K24. This is one thing I noticed about lockdowns. We're about to talk about a lot of defensive stats, is that lockdowns are a little bit tougher to make because a lot of the stats like steal, perimeter defense, strength, stuff like that brings up other stats really high. So honestly, you're more limited as a lockdown this year. Steal also brings up perimeter defense higher, and then both steal and perimeter defense, whichever one you want to upgrade, brings up defensive rebound. And upgrading perimeter defense brings up your ball handle in 2K25. Also this year, this is kind of a big one. Strength brings post control way higher. I'm not saying it's a big one because like post control is very expensive. I don't think it really is, but in 2K24 there was really no correlation here, but strength now really correlates to post control. So if you want to be a very strong, say, lockdown, you're gonna have a little post bag as well, or you know, your post control is going to be up decently high. This is one that stood out the most. When you upgrade your speed, it brings ball handle way higher. So for example, if you want to be a lockdown, you know, you obviously need speed. You got to be able to move around the floor, you know what I'm saying? That is going to affect your ball handle, and most lockdowns don't want ball handle unless you're going to make like some type of park build that's like a 2-way type build. I'm talking about a pure lockdown that's going to shut down the stage, clamp up everybody, or even a pro-am lockdown. Like a lot of us don't want ball handle because we're not planning on dribbling. We're just going to stand in the corner on offense or stand on that hash. So this year lockdowns are going to have a little bit of ball handle. And also speed brings speed with ball way higher. So not only ball handle, but speed with ball as well. And when you upgrade your defensive rebound, it brings interior defense way higher, which shouldn't be too much of a problem because if you're upgrading your defensive rebound, you probably want interior defense anyways. Now I want to talk about animations. For example, this build has a 92 ball handle. And I can confirm that with a 92 ball handle, you'll be able to unlock every single dribble move in the entire game. You might want to write this down because this is important for making your build. And I already know a lot of other YouTubers aren't thinking too straight. They're just gonna leave this part out of their build videos, but this is very important. At a 90 ball handle, you get all of Damian Lillard's dribble moves. You also get Kyrie Irving's and Rafer Austin's. At a 91 ball handle, you'd get all of LaMelo Ball's dribble moves. And at a 92, you'll find the hardest dribble move animations in the game to unlock, which is Stephen Curry's animations and Trae Young's animations. All of the other dribble moves are relatively easy to get, assuming you have a decently high ball handle, like I'm saying, like 85 or 86. Right here is a build with a 94 speed of ball. With a 94 speed of ball, you unlock every dribble style in the game. At a 94, you get Kyrie Irving's dribble style, which last year was the best one in the game, but it was easier to get. So this year, 2K is making it a little bit harder. At a 91 speed of ball, you get Lillard, and at a 90, you get De'Aaron Fox's. If you go with something like an 86 speed of ball, you get pretty much all the other dribble styles. This build has a decently high pass accuracy, but not high enough for the best pass styles in the game. At a 94 pass accuracy, which by the way, that's insane. That's very high. You get Luka's passing style. At a 90, you get Chris Paul, Jason Williams, and Mike Conley's passing style. And at an 89, you get Halliburton's passing style. These are some of the hardest passing styles in the entire game to unlock. This build has a pretty high layup. The hardest layup animations in the game to unlock are going to be Luka's layup at an 88 layup, and then at an 87, you get Devin Booker's layup animations, which are tied to his floater animations that were insane last year, but it does seem like they got a little bit of a nerf this year in 2K25. At an 87 layup, you'll also get D. Mitch, Ja Morant, and LeBron's layup animations. This build has an 89 3-point rating, and it can get Kevin Durant's dribble pull-up, which you have to be between a 6'5 and a 7'3 to unlock, and you also need an 87 midi or 3-point rating. But unfortunately for this build, it cannot get Trae Young's dribble pull-up, which is usually pretty good. That dribble pull-up is for 6'4 builds and under, and it's unlocked at an 82 midi or 3-point rating. Subscribe if you guys haven't, because I'm plugging y'all with all this animation info. Before we get into the badge requirements and some of the most important badges that you guys are going to want to put on your builds, or also, again, like I said, there's certain height caps that you got to be sure that you're a certain height so that you can get a certain badge, because some of these badges look like they're going to be overpowered. You don't want to mess that up. Before we get into all that, I want to talk about the takeovers, because this is going to be confusing to you guys. Again, there are now 72 takeovers. It's not like we just have sharp take, lock take, playmaking take, stuff like that. There are 72 all with different names. And again, if you guys haven't seen, the takeover system is completely revamped. There's level 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 until you get your takeover ability at level 5. And basically, your takeover is always being activated. It's not like in the past where you had to click a button and pop takeover. This meter is fluid. It's going up and down all game. And if you get into level 5, you could potentially keep that all game if the other team does not stop you, or you just keep, making your shots. There's 72 takeovers, and like I said, it's going to be a little bit confusing for you guys. So I decided to break them all down and decide which ones are going to be the best. So these are going to be the ones that if you can get them on your build, you're going to want to use. So if you know you're going to make a slasher and I'm talking about a driving dunk takeover, then maybe write that down. Or if I'm talking about, a passing takeover or a shooting takeover, and you're going to have that on your build, maybe write that down that you might want this takeover. The first one that I think is going to be good is the first takeover literally on the whole menu, and that is going to be above the rim. Now you're going to notice there's an attribute requirement for all of these takeovers. So for above the rim takeover, you need an 84 driving dunk on your build to unlock that. And you guys can see level 1 gives +5, level 2 gives +7, level 3 gives +9, level 4 gives +12, and level 5 gives +15 to your driving dunk. And again, you need at least an 84. So if you do have that 84 driving dunk, this means you'll have a 99 driving dunk. And let's be honest, if you're going to be using this takeover, you're probably a finisher. You're probably a slasher anyways. So you'd probably have a higher driving dunk than an 84 anyways. So let's say you have a 90 or something. Let's say you have a 90 driving dunk. You're going to have 99 driving dunk at level 3. At only level 3, you're going to already have that 99 driving dunk. So I think this above the rim takeover is just going to be OP for slashers, for finishers, and builds that just want to dunk. And again, the takeover ability is on the bottom. It says post machine amplifies overall dunking ability and makes skill dunks easier. The next one I want to talk about is going to be break igniter. This is going to be for centers, especially if you're playing rec or pro am a lot. This is going to be very helpful even on the threes court as well. Basically courts where you have to run the break, because this is giving you a boost to your offensive and defensive rebound, and also pass accuracy. That level 5 is going to hit with +8 pass accuracy and +8 to both rebounds. And then the takeover ability is called Dishmaster, significantly boosts a teammate's shooting ability with pinpoint passes. The next one I want to talk about is Chef. This is going to be for guards. I assume kind of like playmaking shot creator type guards. This is one that's going to boost your mid-range, 3-point, and ball handle. So you're going to kind of be unstoppable with this. But I do think there are some other guard takeovers that you might like a little bit better if you are planning on making a guard. Also, the takeover ability for Chef is Deep Bomber. It says extends your shooting ability well beyond the 3-point line. The next takeover is going to be pretty good for lockdowns. It's going to be defensive presence. At level 5, you get a +7 steal, +7 block, and a +7 agility, which if you don't know what agility is, that's basically for lateral movement. So that matters a lot for lockdowns with the takeover ability of Rim Guardian, boosting the ability to defend around the basket and in the post. The next takeover that's interesting and I think might be pretty good is going to be Elevate, plus 15 standing dunk at level 5. So if we're talking about a post scorer, or if standing dunk is OP again like it was last year, I think it's still going to be valid. I think it did get a little bit of a nerf, but this is crazy. For any of the takeovers that have a plus 15 at level 5, and it's not like mixing like standing dunk plus 7, driving a plus, like if there's just straight up one attribute like it is right here with standing dunk plus 15, I think a lot of those takeovers are going to be pretty broken. Skipping past about 8 of the takeovers, moving on to Great Wall. This is another one, plus 15 at level 5, and that is going to be for strength. So I assume this is going to be one for centers, I assume, but also for lockdowns potentially. If strength turns out to be some insane stat for lockdowns, this could also be an interesting one to use. But also, if you're a lockdown and you got at least a 92 strength, this might be OD. Getting plus 15 at level 5, you might be better off picking a takeover that has like plus 7 strength at level 5. Then also you get, you know, plus 7 steal and or block, whatever else, you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna tell you guys right now, this one's gonna be crazy. Midi Maestro. You need at least an 80 mid-range to get it, so a lot of builds are gonna be able to get this. And at level 5, you get a plus 15 to your mid-range shot. From when I was playing the game, middies looked like they were gonna be really good. Any shot, if it was a spin shot, if it was just a running fade, middies, it looked like they were going to be good. And the takeover ability is Silky Shooter, easier to make perimeter shots off the dribble and boost shot chances off of ankle breakers. This one is going to be huge for my centers, my rim protectors. It's called Paint Dominance. At level 5, you get a plus 8 to block and plus 8 to both of your rebounding, and you get to see the future takeover ability. This one right here might be insane. It's called Sniper. You need at least an 89 3-points to get it, so you do need your 3-pointer to be pretty high. But at level 5, you get a plus 10 to your 3-point rating. That is crazy. I think that's the craziest, you know, pure 3-point rating takeover that we're going to see. There's not going to be one that gives you plus 15 at level 5. This is the one if you just want your 3-pointer to be affected by your takeover, and the takeover ability is Deep Bomber. The Claw might be crazy for lockdowns. You get a plus 15 steal at level 5. Now again, the thing is, if you are a lockdown, you probably already have 99 steal. You probably already have a mad high steal. So I don't know if this is going to be the pick for a lot of lockdowns. The takeover ability is interesting though, because you get Spoiler, which gives a higher efficiency in getting on ball and pass steals. But again, that boosts your steal, plus 15, plus 12, whatever. If you're a lockdown, you probably don't even need that because you probably already have at least a 99 or like 95 steal on your build. 3&D is a takeover I think some of you guys might like. I don't think I'm really going to be using it because I think I'll go all in on either defense or all in on 3-point. I'm not going to kind of mix it and get, you know, plus 7 to 3-point and plus 7 to perimeter defense with plus 7 to agility. Although, hey, maybe I do go for something like this, but I think a lot of you guys will like this, especially if you're a 3&D type player. I think this one's gonna be pretty good. It's called Trifecta, and at level 5 you get a plus 7 to your layup, plus 7 to your midi, and plus 7 to 3-points. So you're pretty much gonna be unstoppable everywhere. People are not gonna know where to guard you. You're gonna, you know, be hitting your threes, your midis, and your layups. You're gonna be literally a 3-level scorer. And also, if floaters are still broken, which if you watch my gameplay video from yesterday, I think floaters are still gonna be really good, then the layup, you know, addition to these takeovers is going to be huge. I think the Commander takeover is going to be pretty solid for centers. You get a plus 7 to your interior defense, plus 7 to block, and plus 7 to defensive rebound at level 5, and you get the Rim Guardian takeover ability. I think the skilled slasher takeover is interesting because based off the name, you're going to think, oh, it's all about dunking. It's probably dunking, you know, layup, whatever, something like that. But no, they also have 3-point added into this one, so you get a boost to your layup, driving dunk, and 3-point, and the takeover ability is giving you posters. It's called Poster Machine. Now this might be the takeover that I use on my lockdown. It is called Pest, and at level 5 you get plus 7 to perimeter, plus 7 to steal, and plus 7 to agility, and the takeover ability is called Vice. We haven't seen this one yet. It stonewalls ball handlers into more forced stops, pickups, and fumbles when bodying them up. So you know me, and you know a lot of you guys, I'm sure a lot of you guys are also going to be playing this type of defense where you're just suffocating the ball handler and just making him pick up his dribble, giving him no breathing room. That takeover ability is going to be insane. I'm telling you guys right now. Orchestrator's kind of interesting. It is all about pass accuracy, and I think pass accuracy honestly is going to be a slept on stat because 2K has been putting more focus into like pass accuracy and just the speed of passes mattering. At level 5, you get plus 15 to pass accuracy. That's insane. Like, a lot of builds that can get this will have a 99 pass accuracy at level 5, and the takeover ability is Dishmaster, which I mean, this might be an insane one, to be honest. I just don't know how popular it's going to be. This takeover right here, I think, is also going to be really good for lockdowns. It's called Mirror, and at level 5, you get plus 15 perimeter defense. This also gets the takeover ability Vice. Layup Guru is an interesting takeover. You need an 84 driver layup to get it. And again, if floaters are broken, if they're overpowered, I think a lot of people will see using Layup Guru, or at least one of the takeovers with some layup being boosted. Grit could be a takeover I see a lot of inside centers using, a lot of centers that don't care too much about offense and just want to grab every board, because you get plus 8 to both rebounds and plus 8 to strength, which we know will not only help with, you know, setting screens, but getting box outs and stuff like that in the paint, just being more physical. Blue is another interesting one for lockdowns. You get plus 7 to perimeter defense, plus 7 to steal, and plus 7 to strength at level 5 with that Vice takeover ability. Glass Gunner is a takeover that I think a lot of you guys, if you're shooting centers, are going to want to use this, especially if you're just going to play park, because at level 5 you get plus 8 to 3-point and plus 8 to both of your rebounds. So write this down right now. If you're a shooting center watching this video, this is honestly, if you're going to play park especially, I see this one being one of the more popular takeovers that people will be using on their centers. I think Finish is going to be a pretty solid takeover if you are on a dunking build or a slasher or something like that, because you get plus 7 to layup, plus 7 to driving, and plus 7 to vertical. I think Eraser could be a really good one as well. You get plus 15 to block at level 5, and you get the Rim Guardian takeover ability. I think Clinic is another one that's going to be really good, because you get a boost to your layup, mid-range, and 3-point shot. And again, I'm gonna keep mentioning it, if floaters are good, this could be scary, because you're going to be able to, you know, shoot from deep, shoot in the mid-range, and also go crazy with your floaters with this takeover. Board Beast is the last takeover I want to highlight, because this is going to be big if you are a center and you only care about rebounding. I could see this one being very popular and very used. You get to see the future takeover ability. Now let's talk about some badges, and I already know a lot of people probably clicked off the video, but you guys are going to be the ones that are plugged with the best badges, and you're going to know what heights your builds has to be for these certain badges, because some of these are actually going to be broken. Starting with the first badge, it's going to be Finishing badge, and it is called Rise Up. This is one that's been in the game. It really helps with standing dunks, and you have to be 6'6" or taller to get this badge. That is a badge that's pretty good, and in my opinion, if you're deciding between, you know, a 6'5" or a 6'6", that is something that would sway my opinion, or sway my decision, I should say, to go with that 6'6", just for that Rise Up badge. Now we have a shooting badge, and that is going to be Mini Marksman. You have to be 6'3" or shorter, and this is a new badge. Not really, because it's been in the game previously, but just not by this name. Basically, with this badge, you're going to shoot over taller defenders much easier. So this is going to be one of the best badges in the entire game. That also is why I think these 6'3" builds are going to be really good. Remember earlier when I said, you know, those all-around guard builds, I think 6'3" is a perfect height, and honestly, I'm gonna make my day 1 build 6'3". Spoiler alert, I haven't completely decided, but Mini Marksman is gonna be a huge badge. So if you are torn between, you know, 6'3", 6'4", you might just want to go 6'3". Now we're on to some defensive badges. We got Paint Patroller, 6'6" or taller in order to get this badge. This is another badge at 6'6". So again, if you're deciding between 6'5", 6'6", you might as well go 6'6". 6'5" builds are honestly looking a little bit mid. I don't want to jump to conclusions because I only played a community day, but basing it off the badges, basing it off everything that we're seeing, 6'6" builds look pretty good. Post lockdown, you got to be 6'5" or taller. That's not a badge that I would really panic about if, you know, I was deciding between a 6'5" or a 6'4", something like that. Post lockdowns is really just for like centers and maybe lockdowns, taller builds. And then for brick wall, you need to be 6'6" or taller. Now obviously there's a lot of new badges, and some badges were just merged into different names. Again, they simplified the badge system. There are less badges this year than there was last year. Let's talk about some of the best badges and the attribute thresholds for these badges. Starting with Limitless Range, you need an 83 to get this badge on bronze, and then you need an 89 to get silver, and a 93 to get it on gold, 96 3-pointer to get it on Hall of Fame, and to get Legend Limitless Range, question a lot of people have been wanting to know the answer to, you need a 99 3-point. So I don't know how often we're going to see that happen in the park. I think it's going to be kind of hard to get. Next up, Ankle Assassin, basically ankle breaker. To get it on bronze, you need a 75 ball handle. To get it on silver, you need an 86 ball handle. And to get it on gold, you need a 93 ball handle. So I think most people have this on silver or gold. And then to get a Hall of Fame, you need a 95, and legend is going to be at a 98 ball handle. Now let's look at handles for days, because this is a very important badge. To get it on bronze is only a 71, silver is only an 81, and gold is a 90. So I'd imagine a lot of people run this badge on gold if you're going to be a dribbler. Some people, especially small guards, might get this on Hall of Fame because that's at a 94, and legend is at a 97 ball handle. And then we also have unpluckable, which can be unlocked either through ball handle or post control. And you could get it by ball handle at a 70 for bronze. For silver, it's going to be an 80. For gold, it's 92. For Hall of Fame, it's 96, so kind of similar to like handles for days. And for legend, it's going to be 99. So honestly, a lot of people are not going to have not Hall of Fame, but legend unpluckable. Next up, let's talk about posterizer, which also is correlated to vertical. So you're going to need some vertical as well as driving dunk. So 73 driving dunk and 65 vertical to get it on bronze. To get it on silver is an 87 driver dunk with a 75 vertical. To get it on gold is going to be a 93 driver dunk, 80 vertical. And then this one I think is going to be pretty good. I think a lot of people will actually have this. Hall of Fame is going to be at a 96 driver dunk, and legend is at a 99 driver dunk with a 90 vertical. Now let's talk about bailout, because this is actually a very important badge, and they've really upped the requirement in order to get this badge in previous years, and they're keeping it that way. 85 pass accuracy to get it on bronze, 91 to get it on silver, 94 for gold, 96 for Hall of Fame, and 99 for legend. So that's good, because I was wondering, I was hoping that they didn't put bronze bailout at like a 70 pass accuracy and just everyone's just bailing out of passes. This is good that they're keeping this badge at a high pass accuracy. Next up, we have one of the most important defensive badges in the game, Challenger. To get it on bronze, 71 perimeter defense. To get it on silver, 82. To get it on gold, we're going to need a 92. Hall of Fame is going to be 95, which I think a lot of people are going to have, especially on lockdown builds. Legend at a 99 perimeter defense. 99 perimeter defense is very expensive. It's going to be very tough for locks to do that, because I think a lot of locks are going to prioritize steal, getting that 99 steal over getting that 99 perimeter defense. Now let's talk about on-ball menace, and this is also correlating to agility. So you need a 74 perimeter defense and a 70 agility for bronze, 85 perimeter defense, 76 agility for silver. And then for gold, 91 perimeter defense, 80 agility, 96 perimeter defense, 84 agility for Hall of Fame. And for legend, 99 perimeter defense, 86 agility. On-ball menace is basically clamps, if you guys did not know. One of the most important badges when it comes to defense is going to be immovable enforcer. It was a very underrated badge last year, and this is also correlating to strength. So let's go to perimeter defense. 62 perimeter defense and a 71 strength for bronze, 72 and an 82 strength for silver. And for gold, 84 perimeter defense, 85 strength. For Hall of Fame, it's going to be 89 perimeter defense. And to get this legend, 94 perimeter defense with a 92 strength. So on my lockdown builds, I will be getting legend immovable enforcer. That is one of the things that I prioritize. Now we got some big ones. We got glove, 67 steel to get it on bronze, 79 to get it on silver, 91 to get it on gold, so same as 2K24, 96 to get it on Hall of Fame, and a 99 glove to get it on legend, which honestly, that's how it should be. Basically only pure lockdowns will be able to get it, but hey, I think that legend glove might be insane. We'll have to really test it out and see. Now let's talk about the other steel badge, Interceptor. It is going to stay at a 60 to get bronze, just like last year, 73 to get silver, 85 to get gold, 94 to get Hall of Fame, and to get legend Interceptor, it is only a 98. So we might see some lockdown builds that stop at a 98 steel and don't go for that legend glove, because 99 is very expensive. 98 gives you that legend Interceptor though. Now let's talk about rebound chaser, because I know a lot of you guys that are centers want to know. 60 of either offensive or defensive rebound to get bronze, 80 to get silver. To get gold, it's going to be a 92. Hall of Fame is going to be 96, and legend rebound chaser is at a 99 rebounding. So a lot of people aren't going to get this. They'll probably settle for either gold or Hall of Fame rebound chaser. But if you are a pure inside or maybe a foot, I don't know what type of build, because a lot of people like making balanced centers nowadays. It's going to be very tough to get that legend rebound chaser. That's all I'm gonna say. Now let's talk about box out beast, which you need rebound upgraded as well for this. To get it on bronze, it's gonna be a 68 strength and then a 71 for silver, 83 for gold, 89 strength for Hall of Fame, and a 96 strength for legend box out beast, and you also need a 98 rebounding. So legend box out beast is going to be very tough to get. I think again, most centers are either going to have gold or Hall of Fame. It is a very important badge, so you guys do not want to forget about it. If you're making a center, you definitely need strength. It matters a lot for these badges. And talking about centers and strength and badges, brick wall, that's a big one. 72 strength for bronze, 83 for silver, 91 for gold, 95 for Hall of Fame, and 99 for legend brick wall, which is probably gonna be literally insane if I had to guess. If you guys want to see more breakdowns of this builder, I'm live right now on Twitch, link in the description, or just look up solo_ on Twitch. I'm gonna be going crazy all 2K25 on Twitch, daily streams of course, and make sure to subscribe if you made it this far, because I'm dropping a ton of builds before the game officially launches. You're not gonna want to miss it. If you enjoyed this video, you probably will like the video popping up on your screen right now, so go ahead, click it.